What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Louisville. We have Nasruddin Imavov going against Jared Cannonier. We have a 14-fight card, a ton to talk about. And yeah, with 14 fights, you would think that, a lot more spots were sticking out to me from a betting perspective, but that wasn't the case. A lot of these fights are just, fights I quite frankly don't want to bet on. Like, I don't want to bet on the Dustin Jacobe Dominic Reyes fight, the Miguel Bayaza Punahele Serano fight's very sketchy. Just a lot of very sketchy fights on this card. But I did find some spots. I do have a parlay that I like for this card and a couple other spots I like as well. So can't wait to break it all down from a betting perspective. We'll talk some Draftkings. We'll talk some prize picks as well. Before we get into, if you guys could, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'll be getting out my betting breakdown video later tonight. And then also I'll be going live tomorrow for Best Bet 2 hours prior to when the prelims start. And when do these prelims start? The prelims are kicking off at 5 Eastern time. So I'll be going live at 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on fight day. So yeah, let's see what you guys are thinking in the chat. I think it's a very interesting card. It's a card that I don't want to go too heavy on. It's a sketchy card. Like, I see a lot of people betting Dominic Reyes. Oh God. A lot of people betting like Dustin Stolfus and Julian Marquez. Oh my gosh. People are betting Tomar as well. Oh my goodness. So it's a sketchy card, but I think the general consensus is we're going to get a lot of underdogs, which I agree, and we're going to get a lot of finishes, which I agree. It's just which of these dogs are gonna come through. Like, there are a ton of nasty dogs on this card, and a couple are gonna come through. It's just which one is it? Is it Puja Tomar? Oh my gosh, is it Jesse Butler? Oh, Montana De La Rosa, Jared Cannonier, Dom Reyes, Dustin Stolfus. A lot of these are terrifying, but I think a couple will come through. So we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll try to find some spots. First one in the building, we have Sean V. Let's go, Brady. Let's go, Sean V. We got Olajuwon Dream in the building. What is up? Hola, senors and senoritas. What is up? What is up? We got Cody Brundage's least favorite fan out there. It is Dirk. And I think on every stream he says Cody Brundage sucks. Well, Cody Brundage actually beat somebody on this very card, and he beat him by first round knockout. We have my guy, Adrian, with a $10 dono. Appreciate you, Adrian. He says it is almost impossible to catch you live these days, Brady. I try and watch the recordings. This is to wishing you to get 25K subs this week. And thank you so much, Adrian, for the dono. It means a ton. And yeah, 25K, getting really close. I think like 36 subscribers away from 25,000, which is phenomenal. I'm very happy. And yeah, almost there. Maybe we can get it by fight time tomorrow. So yeah, thank you, Adrian, for that. We got Eric the Red. I'm going to the fights tomorrow. My first live event ever. Freaking stoked. Good luck, everyone, this week. And yeah, I think it's a very fun card. From a fan perspective, I think it's a great card. I think we're going to get a lot of finishes, a lot of fun fights. From a betting perspective, that's kind of a different story. Kind of a tricky fight card from a betting perspective, at least in my opinion. But I know a lot of people going crazy and taking a shot on a lot of these underdogs. We got Sniper. Let's go, Sniper. Ion saying, let's get 25K, 36 away. We have 138 MMA. Nice, just happened to catch this right on time. Shout out to 138, doing very well in the best bet competition. I'm going to have 138 on probably maybe next week or the week after. Looking forward to that. More of a DraftKings card for me. I think I agree with that. We got Chris. What is up, Chris? It has been a while. Good to see you. Unk and everyone still in the grind. Respect, bro. Respect to you as well, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you've been good yourself. Jason saying, what's up, Brady? What is up, Jason? Cody, what's up, Brady? Good luck on this landmine of a card. I'm keeping it lighter than usual. Yeah, for me, it's one of my lighter cards of the year. Trying to avoid these landmines, but still trying to make money, still trying to find some spots on this card. Never thought I'd see a day where Katona was minus 650. You're telling me. I said that on Sunday, and it was minus 500. I was like, I never thought I'd see the day where Katona is minus 500 even. And now he is minus 650. Love you, Brady. Let's have a great weekend. Let's do it. Mr. Ed will be there tomorrow. Need some finishes after that mess last week. Yeah, last week, 0 knockouts. 0 knockouts last week. I think that is going to absolutely change this week. Forrest saying, Brady, how's the animal life around the house? Is the lawnmower next door still making noise? Yeah, the neighbor mows at least 3 times a week, and there are some bunnies. There are some squirrels. And there are some birds. So that's the animal forecast for this week for us. Lots of animal life around summertime. We got D saying, and who won your group competition? I caught it live, but never got to see the results. Group competition. What group competition? Me? Let me know what group competition you're talking about. I didn't know I was in a group competition. Reyes over 0.5 takedowns plus 200 seems like a decent play. I think there is a chance he might wrestle. So yeah, I don't hate that. Katona is going to edge a split decision as a minus 650 favorite against a zombie. Yeah, I can see that happening as well. But guys, we got a lot to talk about. Please smash the like button. Let's try to get those likes up. And also, once again, subscribe if you have not yet. Let's try to get to 25K. All right, so like I said, this card is very sketchy. Very sketchy. And we're going to start it off with what could be the lowest level fight in maybe UFC history. I mean, this is a very, very low level fight here. No offense. I know some people get really offended when I say things like that. No offense. But, I mean, what else do you want me to say? It's a very low level fight. We got Rayon Amanda going against Puja Tomar, and money's been pouring in on Rayon Amanda. She opened up as a minus 180 favorite. She's now minus 334. And then Puja Tomar opened up plus 155. She's currently plus 274, which is weird because I haven't seen anybody like parlay Amanda or anything like that. All I've really seen is Puja Tomar bets out there, believe it or not. So this money line is getting hammered by somebody in favor of Rayon Amanda. So yeah, for me, this could be my worst bet of all time. But I do like Amanda here, and I like Amanda inside the distance. I mean, she's a minus 3-something favorite at this point. Puja Tomar, I don't think she's UFC caliber. Amanda, she has a black belt in BJJ. She has solid ground and pound. And anytime Puja Tomar has been put on her back, she looks like a fish out of water. Puja Tomar has been finished in all 4 of her losses. I think 3 by submission and 1 what might have been a TKO as well. So yeah, Amanda should get this fight down to the mat. And when she does, I think it's going to be her world. On the feet, I actually think it's going to be competitive. I think both these ladies throw with very bad intentions. But once this fight gets to the mat, I think it could be over shortly after. So I have 0.75 units on Rayon Amanda to win inside the distance at plus 175, hoping for Amanda to not only win this fight, but give Tomar her 5th, not only loss, but 5th finish loss here. It's ugly, it's greasy, but I think Amanda should go out there and finish Tomar in this matchup. Man, but it is crazy though. Rayon Amanda, a minus 3. I think I see minus 375 favorite in the UFC. That's wild, but I think it just goes to show you that, you know, Puja Tomar is probably not UFC caliber. So give me Amanda inside the distance. From a DraftKings perspective, Amanda at 9,100, I don't mind. I think she's going to be semi-low owned. I think she'll have some ownership, but I think she'll be lower owned than some of these other fighters up top. 9,100, some takedown upside, some finish upside on the mat. I think she gets Tomar out of there probably second, maybe third round. And I'm thinking submission as well, but just give me the inside the distance there. Do I love it? No, I don't. I don't love the fact that I'm putting any money on this fight, but you know, Amanda is one of my more confident plays, I guess you could say, on this card, which I don't have a ton of confident plays, but Amanda, I think, should go out there and get it done. Disgusting. Just disgusting. We got Charles. Come on, Brady. Let's go. Come on. What is up, Charles? Anyone else considering playing the Butler point spread? You probably get good plus money on that, considering Katona is such a massive favorite. And I wouldn't hate a shot on that, but I don't think I'm playing that fight. We got Mark. Hold the show. Number 1 fan alert. Yeah, Mark is my number 1 fan. Shout out to Mark. Appreciate you for stopping by. No offense taken. Speak your mind and the truth. I try to do that for us, but some people get really, really upset. Like people start crying when I say this is a lower level fight, or some people cry when I say I'm not excited for a fight. It's quite concerning, but you got to be careful what you say in 2024. So I try to respect the feelings of everybody, and I try not to say a fight is low level because it really upsets some people, and I don't want to make anybody cry. I hate making people cry. I'm trying to be a nice guy. So yeah, no offense to anybody out there. It's not a high level fight. I'm not laying minus 360. I'll take a shot on the dog. And nothing's wrong with passing. Nothing is wrong with passing. You don't have to lay minus 60 on Rayon Amanda, but you also don't have to put money on Puja Tomar. If I put money on Puja Tomar and she lost, I probably wouldn't show up the next week. I'd probably just quit. It's just disgusting. Like nothing's wrong with passing. We have 14 fights. I'm passing on like 9 of these 14, and there's a reason for that. 138 saying, I bet Amanda a couple weeks ago. There you go. You beat some serious line movement there. But in no way did I think this line would end up where it is now. I thought it would boo for sure, just not this much. Not this much. Dixon's baby boy comment post of the week. Yeah, I think that was last week. But Dixon did not win comment of the week, unfortunately. If Amanda can't get it to the ground, can't get the takedown, Tomar finishes her in round 2. Wouldn't that be something? Never bet on someone with 2 first names. Maybe. What's up, man? Just wanted to know your confidence level on Lee. Think she's a solid bet as a short price favorite. I don't have a ton of confidence in it. I don't even think I'm picking Lee. I think I'm picking De La Rosa, but this is a fight that I think could go either way. I think it's going to go to decision. I think that De La Rosa is going to land some takedowns. Lee's going to be the better striker. These judges suck. They're corrupt. They're terrible. They're awful. They're going to get it wrong anyway. So I wouldn't be confident in anything in that Lee fight. We got Danny saying, what's up, Brady? Hope the baby is growing up well. Yeah, he just turned 6 months yesterday. So, hey, Brady, on my way to Louisville. I'm glad you're streaming. Enjoy it, Paul. Enjoy the fights. I think it's going to be a good one. Brady, you just ruined my day. I'm alone crying in my room because you said mean things about Puja. Yeah, I'm trying not to. Any chance Puja surprises us, maybe made some improvements? Yeah, there could be a chance for sure. And at the end of the day, this is WMMA. You can't be confident in these big chalky favorites. All right. Moving on to the next fight, we have Taylor Lapis going against Cody Staman. We have Taylor Lapis, another very wide line here. He opened up as a minus 175 favorite. He's now minus 279. Cody Staman opened up plus 145. He's currently plus 239. I do like this matchup for Lapis, but it's hard to lay almost minus 300 on Lapis, who doesn't really separate himself well in fights. He's more of a decisionator. This fight is heavily favored to go to decision. And again, like these crooked, corrupt judges, like last week, UFC 302 had to have been the worst scorecards I think I've ever seen in my life. Like some crooked judge scored the fight 29-28, Mitch Raposo over Andre Lima. Another judge, I think it might have been the same judge, scored the fight 49-46, Paulo Costa over Sean Strickland. Like, what the hell are these guys watching? These guys are either blind, not watching the fight, or maybe intoxicated while watching some of these fights. So when you're talking about laying minus 300 in a fight that is heavily favored to go the distance, I think a lot can go wrong. So, but yeah, I mean, the pick is Liz Lapis. I think it's a good matchup for him. I think his takedown defense, get-up game is borderline elite. I think it should be able to keep the fight standing. And on the feet, he's the better striker, more volume, and like a 9-inch reach advantage as well. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons to like Lapis. I just don't think there's a lot of reasons to like him at minus 300. So it's a total pass for me. I was looking at maybe even like the Cody Staman point spread, plus 3.5. All he has to do is win one round. But anything involving the judges is not something I want to really get my money on. So yeah, it's the Lapis by decision. I'm passing from a betting perspective and also from a DraftKings perspective. Not much is sticking out either. So just one big giant pass here. What do you guys got in the chat for this one? Louisville is a dump. I've heard a couple people say that this week. I haven't been there, so I don't know if it's a dump or not. Judges betting on those splits for sure. What a joke. Yeah, some of these scorecards were just jokes last week. I don't know what, like, judging's always been questionable, but I think more so like this past year, it's just been really, really bad. We got Mushroom. What's up, Brady? What is up, Mushroom? Sneak watching at work. There you go. Love to hear it. Hopefully you have the live resin vape as well in hand. Reach advantage will play huge for him in this fight. We're going to see there's levels to MMA striking. Got Taylor to win by decision, minus 150 gross odds, but it's a smash spot for me. I think that is the most likely scenario. Both guys not finishers, heavily favored to go the distance. I think Lapis wins by decision. The fans in Kentucky are going to be something to watch themselves. Why is that, Mark? Why is that? But yeah, nothing on this fight. Next, we have Eduardo Mara going against Denise Gomes, a fight that I'm really looking forward to here. And this is a fight where I've been kind of flipping back and forth all week on this one. I'm not confident on a side. What I do really like is violence, but these violence numbers have all been just obliterated throughout the week. People are betting the unders. People are betting the fight doesn't go to decisions. But the only weight miss of the week was Eduardo Mara. And I really wanted to see Mara on the scales because she went out there and she missed weight by like 3.5 pounds last time, right? Which missing weight by 3.5 pounds, in terms of like your performance, maybe she didn't completely try to kill herself to make weight. Maybe she stopped cutting early, all that. Like, it's not the worst look in the world for Mara against Ruiz last time. And even like Andre Lima last week, he missed weight by like 5 pounds. Like, in theory, that's going to favor him. That's going to help him maybe stuff some takedowns and like be the bigger guy. But in this fight, Eduardo Mara missed weight by a half a pound, which I don't like to see that. Today's weigh-ins were weird. There was no stream, nothing like that, but there was videos on Twitter and all that, and it looks like a lot of fighters were missing weight by like a half a pound. I think there was something wrong with the scale, but Mara missed weight by half a pound, and she was the only fighter that did not weigh back in and make that weight, as far as I'm concerned, unless that changed. So I don't like to see that. You don't like to see a fighter who is really big for the division miss weight by a half a pound. That means that she tried everything she could to make that weight, and she couldn't quite get there, and then she wasn't able to go out there and cut that extra half pound, which is a huge red flag to me. So yeah, this is a spot where it is dogger pass. I mean, how can you lay minus 180 to minus 200 on Eduardo Mara? I feel like we don't know anything about her at this point. What we have seen, though, from Mara is complete dominance, but against who? This is a fighter in Denise Gomes who's going to be the first fighter that Mara's fought with a pulse. Montserrat Ruiz, as far as I'm concerned, does not have a pulse. And then that chick on the Contender Series that Mara subbed does not have a pulse. Denise Gomes, she does have a pulse. So with the weight miss, with this line, although I think Mara could absolutely be the minute winner here, I think she could get takedowns at will. The weight cut is extremely, extremely sketchy here. So I was looking at these lines, and I was surprised to see like these finish props on Gomes so wide, especially after that weight miss. And I took some shots on him. I'd have a half unit on Denise Gomes to win by knockout at plus 470. I can't believe that line. Like, I think somebody's getting served here. But, these Denise Gomes finish props are just ridiculous. So I put a half unit on it at plus 470, and also put a quarter unit on Gomes by submission at plus 2,000, basically playing the Gomes inside the distance, 0.75 units as a whole. But yeah, I think on the feet, Gomes is very live for a knockout. Eduardo Mara is begging to be knocked out on the feet. With the weight cut, the tough weight cut, we could see a cardio dump for Mara. And then even on the mat, Denise Gomes, she just got her brown belt. She throws up submission. She's attempted 4 thus far in the UFC. I think somebody's getting served here. I think the under is probably the best play, but it's minus 135 at this point. So I'm going to take a shot on the dog here, on these dog finish props, because they're just much, much better numbers. And again, the weight miss of Mara is something that's extremely concerning to me. You don't like to see a fighter miss weight by a half a pound. I think she really struggled on this weight cut. From a DraftKings perspective, both sides definitely in play. Eduardo Mara, takedown upside. She scored like 128 in her debut against Ruiz, but that was Ruiz. But yeah, she can get takedown. She has grounded pound, submission game. And then Denise Gomes, I think if she wins, it has to be a finish. I don't think that she's winning a decision here. I think if anything, it's Mara that can win a decision with the takedowns, the control time. So yeah, very fun fight, but it's a dogger pass for me. This line, it hasn't really made sense to me all week, and with the weight miss, I'm kind of leaning the other way. Let's see what you guys got in the chat. Brady, are you picking the over for Mara versus Gomes? I am not. It looks like everybody's on this under. I missed the line on it, but I think it does go under. Lots of bourbon in Kentucky, that is for sure. Paul liking D Gomes, baby. She missed weight again? Yes, she did. Last time it was like 3.5 pounds. This time it was a half a pound. I wanted to take the dog shot on Gomes, but if she's coming in heavy, that's a big advantage. Yeah, she's not coming in that heavy. She didn't pull an Andre Lima. I don't think she went out there and purposely tried to miss weight like that cheater Andre Lima. Gomes TKO under, but you're not getting this is a strawweight fight, and you're laying minus 135 on the under. So it's not a great price. Not a great price. Gomes body shot KO. Gomes already stole the hype from Uregi, Heregi, yeah. Yeah, she did. She knocked her out in like less than 60 seconds. Gomes says black hair again could be a good sign. Had white hair in the Hill fight, lost. If you're coming in there with white hair, you're bound to lose. Gomes has no subs on her record yet. Who is the best grappler she's faced? The best grappler that Gomes faced? Probably Angela Hill. I know Heregi has some grappling as well, but Angela Hill's grapplings look incredible as of late. So, but yeah, Gomes, she has no subs, but she does attempt a lot of subs. And again, she's a brown belt. So I think inside the distance is fine, but I sprinkled the knockout and the sub. if the sub hits, it'll be a monster night. But I do think it's knockout if it does come from Gomes, more than likely. But if I played the knockout and she got a sub, I'd be pissed because the sub's plus 2,000. All right. Moving on to the next fight, we got John Castaneda going against Daniel Marcos. Like most fights on this card, we have a closely lined fight here. Daniel Marcos actually taken some steam as of late. He opened up minus 130, went to minus 115 for a while, and then he's currently at minus 131. John Castaneda as a plus 111 underdog. Yeah, I think this is a close fight. I thought there'd be more people on Castaneda. It looked like there was going to be originally money coming in on Castaneda, but it looks like as of now, more money's came in on Marcos like the last 24 hours. I think that you could make a case for Castaneda. I think he has more ways to win. I think he's fought the much better competition. He has the wrestling upside, the submission upside, but I do lean towards that Daniel Marcos side. I really like the takedown defense. The ground game hasn't been tested all that much, and maybe that's the case here. But I think if Marcos can keep this fight standing, I think he's going to be the better striker. I love the striking of Marcos, the volume, and the way he mixes it up to the body, to the head, to the legs. I guess Castaneda did not look great at weigh-ins. Maybe that's the reason that money is coming in on Marcos, these last couple hours here. But yeah, Castaneda looked like he definitely had a tough cut, which is interesting. Give me Marcos here. Marcos probably by decision, but maybe a late finish if he's able to work the body a little bit, like Santos did against Castaneda, and if Castaneda did have a tough weight cut. But I'm going Marcos here. Nothing really sticking out from a moneyline perspective or a betting perspective. And then on DraftKings, I think there's just a lot more better fights to play. I think this one probably goes 15. I think it's a fun fight, though. I think this is a sneaky contender for fight of the night. I think these guys are going to throw down, but not much sticking out in terms of a betting perspective. You have a favorite spot this week, Brady? Yes, I have a parlay this week, which it'll be my 4th tracked parlay of the year, something I've been trying to stay away from. But my favorite spot is probably the fight doesn't go as a parlay piece in the Charles Racky fight. I think somebody's getting served there. John by decision. Yeah, I think whoever wins this fight, probably by decision. Like I said, maybe a late finish for Marcos, but everybody on D, you mean Denise Gomes? Yeah, a lot of people are on her. A lot of people are on a lot of these dogs. Like a lot of these dogs are very popular. I think a lot of people are just betting the dogs this week. I want Chuck Buffalo to go to sleep arrogant. Yeah, a lot of people hate Chuck Buffalo. I think I'm one of the very few people that actually like the guy. Maybe it's because he cashed a big knockout prop for me against Gilbert Urbina, but I don't mind Chuck Buffalo. All right. Not much on that fight. Let's keep moving on. We have Andrea Lee going against Montana De La Rosa. Oh, God. So I'm kind of shocked that money's coming in on Andrea Lee. Just not that she can't win this fight. I'm just shocked that people are betting on this fight. Like, Andrea Lee has looked pretty rough in her last 2 fights. With that said, it's been against good competition, but still, she has looked like she's declining a little bit. She hasn't won a fight in, I think, 4 or 5 fights at this point. And this has split decision written all over it. Andrea Lee's clearly the better striker, and Montana De La Rosa is clearly the better wrestler. I think De La Rosa is going to get some takedowns. Lee is going to get taken down. She has no takedown defense, but on the feet, Lee should be able to do the better work. It's going to come down to maybe the damage control type argument. It's going to come down to what these crooked, blind judges think. And yeah, probably a split decision. It could be one of those fights where one judge has it 30-27 De La Rosa. One judge has it 30-27 Lee. It could be one of those fights. So in a fight like that, I'm actually shocked people are laying money on Andrea Lee with confidence. Is it because Lee won like 5 years ago? Maybe, but I don't know. I'm not touching this fight. I'm not even thinking about touching this fight from a betting perspective, a DraftKings perspective. This is a rematch that nobody asked for. And if you asked for this rematch, you need some serious help. If you wanted to see this fight get run back, something's wrong with you. Something's seriously wrong with you. So, yeah, it's a pass. But laying chalk on Andrea Lee in what I'm almost certain is a split decision is quite terrifying. I don't get it, but people are doing it. This line's getting way out of hand. Yeah, pass, 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 pass. 1-800-GAMBLER. There are 3 1-800-GAMBLER fights on this card. This is the first one. Pass, pass, pass. I've seen nobody pick De La Rosa either, by the way. I've seen nobody pick De La Rosa. So, pass. Chuck Buffalo line didn't make sense last time. Made some money. Doesn't make sense this time. I just like violence, man. I think either guy's live to get served. Prochazka has a ton of power. Just give me violence. I don't care who wins that one. Brady, will you do a shoey if Montana shoots 0 takedowns? I don't really want to do a shoey, but yeah, I will, because that would be probably the worst game plan in UFC history. So yeah, I'll do a shoey. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Low level fight. I wish they could scrap this fight just because. You and me both, man. I've done so much content this week. I've done a couple guest appearances, and 14 fight cards are crazy for a content creator. So I think this is my 6th or 7th time breaking down the card this week. 14 fights. That's a lot of times talking about this trash fight. Just a lot of times talking about Andrea Lee Montana De La Rosa. She shouldn't shoot 0 takedowns. She really shouldn't. Hey, Brady, maybe one of these fights you should bet on a split decision, even though I know you haven't had much luck with that. Yeah, Tony, I'm 0-11 on split decision bets. I retired from betting on those last year. Even when a fight is clearly a split decision, I still can't cash it. And then now this year, they've made these prices on these split decisions a lot worse. So for instance, this fight, the split decision prop is like probably plus 280. Whereas last year you might get it at plus 400 even, or plus 350, worst case scenario. But I think they're getting all over some of these lines on these split decision props. So just another reason I don't want to play them. Like if I bet the split decision here, Andrew Lee probably gets a finish. Something stupid like that always happens. So I retired from betting split decisions. Lee looked rough on the scale. I don't know if she did or not. I didn't really pay attention to Lee, but just another reason not to lay chalk on him. Parlay all 1-800-GAMBLER fights for a prize. Yeah, so the Lee De La Rosa fight, the Jacobe Dominic Reyes fight, and then the Miguel Bayaza Punahele Serano fight. Those are my 3 1-800-GAMBLER fights of the week. Even like the Rayon Amanda fight's borderline 1-800-GAMBLER, and I have a bet on that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dixon. If she shoots no takedowns, I'll be very upset. All right, let's just move on. We got Brad Katona going against Jesse Butler. We have Brad Katona minus 650. He's all the way up to like a minus 800 favorite on a book, which is wild. Jesse Butler plus 475. Yeah, Jesse Butler looked awful on the scale today. I thought Jesse Butler looked the worst out of anybody weighing in today. So that's to be noted. But yeah, Brad Katona should win this fight. I don't really see a path to victory for Jesse Butler. It's just laying minus 650 on Brad Katona just does nothing for a parlay. It adds no value. Brad Katona by decision, best price, I think, is like minus 185. And I was thinking maybe since Jesse Butler did look so terrible on the scales, maybe Brad Katona late props, but they're terrible prices as well. So it's just a good fight to pass on. I'm very confident Brad Katona wins, but probably goes to decision. And maybe it's a little more competitive than this line does indicate. So yeah, it's Brad Katona, but it's a big giant pass. Don't lay minus 185 on the decision prop. And on DraftKings, Brad Katona is the biggest fade I think I've ever seen in my life. 9,600 for Brad Katona on a 14 fight card with a lot of finishes. I would not be playing Brad Katona at 9,600. So passing all over this fight. Some of these fights I just want nothing to do with, and this is certainly one of them. Leah's lost a pretty good comp, not Silva, Barber, and arguably even beat Barber. That she did. That she did. Katona looks 3 weight classes smaller. Yeah, Jesse Butler is a big dude, man. Jesse Butler's fought as high as welterweight, cutting down to bantamweight here for the first time. Looked like a rough cut, but yeah, we'll see. Personally, I'd love to see Brad make it in the rankings at some point. Dude seems genuine. I think he's a good fighter. He's just not the most exciting fighter outside of the Cody Gibson fight, but I think he's good. But he lost his last fight against Garrett Armfield in a fight that I really thought he shouldn't have went out there and lost. So I don't know if he has top 15 upside. If you're losing to Garrett Armfield, I'm not sure. Dog or pass for me? Yeah, it's a pass or pass for me. I can't lay minus 650 on Katona, but at the same time, I can't bet on Jesse Butler to beat anybody in the UFC. Adrian with a $10 dono. Appreciate you. Adrian, he said, I bet De La Rosa 5 units. 5 units to win a lot of units there. I will literally shred money before I touch Elite ever. Yeah, it's definitely a dog or pass for me. I'm not betting on the fight, but I wish you luck, Adrian. That'd be a massive cash. I will have $0 on that fight, but rooting for you to hit that. Amanda, Andrea Lee by decision, Charles submission, Bruno by KO in round 1 or 2, 100 to win, 12,000. It's a long shot. It's a really, really big long shot, Daniel, but best of luck on that. Moving on to the next fight, we got Carlos Prochazka going against Charles Racky, and this is going to be the first leg of my parlay this week. Puja Tomar. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, AW. It's the dumbest thing. I know you're joking, though. I know you're joking. Nothing is lock in MMA. We've seen crazy things happen, especially Puja Tomar. She is not a lock. Neither is Rayon Amanda. Nothing is a lock in MMA. Nothing is a lock in that trash fight. Come on, AW. Come on. Let's get it together. Anyway, that threw me off. That just absolutely threw me off. So yeah, back to this fight. This is going to be the first leg of my parlay. I have the fight doesn't go to decision in the Racky Prochazka fight. One of my favorite spots of the week. I think there's violence here. I think there's opportunities for a knockout on either side. I think Prochazka hits like an absolute truck. We've seen Racky knocked out before. Racky hits like an absolute truck. Prochazka has on paper a 37% strike in defense. Prochazka has been finished in 5 of his 6 losses, 3 by sub, 2 by knockout. I think Racky has potential submission upside if he's able to get the fight down to the mat. So yeah, I think there's a lot of scenarios where this fight does finish. If you guys watched the face-off today, it was the most exciting face-off of the day. It looks like these guys are going to go out there and they're going to swing, they're going to stand, they're going to bang, and I think somebody's getting knocked out. And I think it'll be brutal as well. So yeah, fight doesn't go to decision is what I like in this fight. I have it parlayed with something we'll talk about very shortly. And from a money line perspective, it would be dog or pass. But I don't really want to get in the way of Prochazka. Prochazka, very long, very rangy, very big for the division, hits like an absolute truck. And unlike Officer Trevin Giles, who does a really good job of kind of sticking to the outside, using his movement, using that jab, Racky's going to need to get in on the inside, which I think is going to open up knockout opportunities for either party here. So give me the fight doesn't go. Don't care who wins, but I just need somebody to get served here in this one. From a Draftkings perspective, love this fight as well. Prochazka knockout upside. And then Racky, I think, is a very cheap underdog on Draftkings with power in his own right. BJJ black belt, some wrestling. So yeah, there's definitely pass for Racky at this price tag, but overall a fight I love from a Draftkings perspective as well. All right, what do you guys got in the chat for this one? Prochazka by knockout. Yep, very much on the table. Prochazka by knockout, though, is not a great line. I think it's juiced. Prochazka by knockout is, well, Prochazka inside the distance is minus 130. Prochazka by knockout, it's plus 100. Plus 100. Racky probably gets smoked here. I'm rooting for him. I know everybody hates Racky. I like the guy. I'm rooting for him, but it is a much tougher matchup than Gilbert Urbina. I couldn't believe people were so confident in Gilbert Urbina last time. I know people were trying to fade Racky, but Gilbert Urbina just is not it. But Prochazka is much, much better than Urbina. I mean, imagine what Prochazka would do to Gilbert Urbina. It would be, that fight wouldn't even be sanctioned. Yeah, I think if Racky wins, it's by sub. Yep, Prochazka has been submitted a lot, but we'll see. Might have to take this week off for betting. Last week was great. Yeah, last week there were a lot more confident spots. Like I loved Jonathan Almeida to finish. I loved Holland to finish and by sub. Loved Islam by sub. Just needed him to get the submission in the second, third, or fourth for a massive night. This week, it's like not a ton of confident things to be confident in this week. Brady, I've been saying it all week. Carlos Prochazka is Cesar Almeida in Rebellis of Spain. We just saw this movie twice. We can't let the books catch us with our pants down for a third time in a row. Yeah, that's why I'm just playing violence. I would never in a million years lay minus 230 on Prochazka. And yeah, Racky does have some paths here. Prochazka getting club and subbed, easy money. intense face-off between these two. Loved Racky cussing out the media after stepping off the scale. He's playing the heel very good. He wants people to hate him, and he's doing a really good job at that. Is Racky sub crazy? Let's see. Racky sub. He has 3 of them. Plus 900 best price, plus 700. I won't be taking it, but if he gets the fight down to the mat, there could be some opportunities. And I think it had to be early. I think all 3 of Racky's submission wins come in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Did you guys watch the Giles? I don't think anybody watched the Giles fight. Who was betting Prochazka so confidently? Guy might not throw. Yeah, that was a very concerning performance, I thought, against Officer Trevin Giles. He was on his way to losing that fight, but I do think this is going to be this fight's going to play out a little bit different than that. I think Racky's going to need to be a little bit more reckless than Giles was, which I think is going to open up some finishing opportunities, which is why I'm just playing the fight doesn't go. And that he did. He landed a big shot and finished poor Officer Trevin Giles. There was an officer down that night. It wasn't a good look. Racky by sub plus 900 got to be worth at least a dart throw, right? I don't hate it. If he gets the fight down to the mat, you're going to be looking really good for that. But I'll just stick with my fight doesn't go to decision there. It's not like the fight doesn't go, I think is a very generous price for these two. It was minus 180, which I thought was insane, but money's came in on it, and rightfully so. All right, guys, we will move on. Yeah, it could have been. At the end of the day, he did get a brutal knockout win, which is good, but not the best performance out there. All right, where are we at? We have Ludovic Klein going against Thiago Moises, another one of these coin flippy type fights. You have a striker versus grappler matchup. On the feet, you got to love Klein, the striking of Klein. And then on the ground, you got to love the grappling, the BJJ black belt of Thiago Moises. So yeah, I'm personally picking Klein with not a ton of confidence. I think he has the takedown defense to keep this standing. I think he'll be the better striker, but you can make a lot of cases for Moises, and there's a lot of people betting Moises by sub, and I can see that as well. If Moises is able to get the fight down to the mat, although I think Klein's a black belt himself, Moises is the much, much better grappler. Klein's been submitted twice in his career, so I think if you're betting Klein, it's maybe take a shot at the knockout prop. If you're betting Moises, maybe take a shot at the sub prop. The under 2.5 opened up plus 155 on Sunday. I wish I would have got in on that, but it is now minus 110. So I'm just going to pass on this fight. I think there will be violence here, though, one way or another, whether it's a Klein knockout or a Moises sub. But I definitely missed the price on the violence. The under's been getting smashed all week. And I think there's a good reason for that. From a DraftKings perspective, I do like this fight on DraftKings because, like I said, if Klein's winning, I think a knockout could very well happen. And then Moises, if he's winning, not only is he cheaper than Ludovic Klein, he has wrestling upside, control time upside, submission upside. So yeah, I don't mind either side on DK here because I think both guys have some upside, but not a fight I'm very confident in one way or another. But yeah, staying away from this one as well. The pick is Klein with no confidence though. I had you at 11-1 last week. You took first place against 5 other YouTubers. Did I go 11? I think I might have missed 2 fights. I'm not sure, but 11-1's very good. 11-1's very good. Klein wins this battle of who gives up first. Both these guys, that's the thing. Both these guys have given up before. Moises gave up against Benoit Saint Denis, gave up against Joel Alvarez. Klein gave up against Nate Landwehr. Both these guys have been broken before. That's kind of why I liked the under. I liked the under, but not anymore at this price. Hey, Brady, you the GOAT. Any prize picks plays you liking? Yeah, last week was a great time for prize picks. Hit a nice 3-piece with the free square of Dustin Poirier. This week, I think it's a little bit tougher. I'm liking a lot of fight time props, which kind of concerns me because this year I haven't had a ton of success on prize picks on fight time. But yeah, I like the Prochazka, less than 9.75 minutes fight time. I like the Mora, less than 12.5 minutes fight time. And then there was one other one I really did like as well. I think it was the Bruno Ferrera, less than 6.5 minutes fight time. But yeah, I haven't finalized the play yet for prize picks. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for that. Might just be a 2-piece this week, maybe a 3-piece. Brady, this fight's going to play out like Rebexy, Carlos Diego Ferreira, vet, going to give the kid a vet lesson. It could. Puna is the lock of the century. Oh my gosh. No. No, no, no. No. No, 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 no. No, no. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is right. I did pick Morono. So yeah, I did go 11-1, I think. Yeah, Morono, very disappointed in Alex Morono. He's a guy that always takes these short notice fights, but this fight specifically against Nico Price, it looked like he just didn't even train at all. Like one day. Very disappointing performance and fight. Like that fight was horrible. And I was expecting that fight to be fun. So yeah, that sucked. Puja, Puna. I'd rather play Puna Haley Soriano personally, but I wouldn't also not really want to play either of them. How do you feel about Katona money line and Bruno KO at -110 2-leg parlay? I think they both come through, but I don't know. All right, moving on to the next fight. We have another 1-800 gambler fight. 1-800 gambler fight of the week, the second one. It is Miguel Bayaza going against Punahele Soriano. If you guys watched my prediction video, I brought up that there are a ton of red flags on this fight, and I tried to emphasize it as much as possible. So yeah, there's a bunch of red flags on this fight. With Miguel Baeza, you have a 2.5-year layoff. He's coming off of a brutal knockout loss to Andre Fiallo. The chin is in serious question. The confidence is in serious question. He's not won a fight in years, Miguel Baeza. On the flip side, you have Puna Soriano, who's cutting down to 170 for the first time in his career. He made weight. I think initially he missed weight by like a half a pound, but something's up the scale today, but ended up making weight. And yeah, we'll see how that affects his performance, affects his cardio that is already not that great. I don't know what to do here. I mean, you got to favor Baeza to win this fight just because Puna, I don't see him winning a fight outside of the first round against many guys, and especially here. If you're going to bet Puna Soriano, bet him by first round knockout. I really don't see any other path for Puna. And then as far as Miguel Baeza, I think he has more ways to win. I think he's the much better striker. I think he has power in his own right. I think he has the better cardio. If this fight reaches the second round, his chances of winning skyrocket. He's the better grappler. He's a black belt in BJJ. So I got favor Baeza, but laying -200 on Miguel Baeza, a lot can go wrong doing that. So yeah, didn't find anything in this fight. Even like the violence props, I'm not in love with. The fight doesn't go -350. Like Puna is a tough dude. I could see like maybe a Baeza decision. Puna is very tough, but I don't know. Nothing sticking out here from this fight. Puna first round knockout is like +600. I think that's how he wins, but I just don't want to put money on either of these. I don't trust either of these guys at all. So from a betting perspective, it's off the table for me. From a DraftKings perspective, I love this fight. You have Baeza 8,700, knockout power, BJJ black belt, submission upside, and then Puna Soriano 7,500. If he's winning, it's a first round knockout. I think somebody's probably getting served here. These price tags are both playable. So DraftKings, I'm going to be pretty heavily invested in this fight, but from a betting perspective, I want nothing to do with this one. Not much sticking out. Maybe the fight doesn't go as a parlay piece, but even that I'm not in love with. So yeah, it's a big pass for me. But from a DraftKings perspective, I love this fight. I'm going to have a ton of it. Baeza has a styrofoam chin. Puna dusts him in round number 1. I think that's when it happens, and that's why I don't mind a Puna KO1 prop. Why is Puna at 170? I'm not sure. Moreno gets some help. Yeah, Alex Morono gets some help. That was the worst performance of the year. So shout out to Alex Morono. You have had the worst performance of the year. Congratulations. You did it. You won worst performance of the year thus far. So everybody give a round of applause to Alex Morono. You looked horrible against Nico Price. Shout out to Alex Morono for that. While breaking down this fight, Brady said the word red flag 22 times. Yeah, I was debating going more. I was debating saying red flag like 50 times. I was debating making the whole video saying red flag, but ended up stopping myself and cutting it short to 22. But yeah, red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag. Still, Sam Morono busted my parlay for 5.5K. Yeah, he did that too. I saw a lot of people had like massive 12-leg parlays. The only leg that didn't hit was Alex Morono. So yeah, he busted a lot of parlays. Yeah, everybody had a 12-legger, and Morono busted everybody's 12-legger. I didn't do a 12-legger, but if I did, he would have busted mine as well. So, yeah, shout out to Alex Morono for that trash excuse of a performance. All right, moving on. We got a lot to talk about still. We got Julian Marquez going against Zachary Reese. And yeah, this is going to close out my parlay. I have 2.6 units on the fight doesn't go decision and Julian Marquez, Zachary Reese, parlayed with the fight doesn't go decision and the Racky Prochazka fight. 2.6 units to win 2 comes out to minus 130. I think somebody's getting served here. Zachary Reese, not only has he never been the distance, he's never been over 2.5 rounds. He's never been to the third round. He's never been over 1.5 rounds. He's never been to the second round, Zachary Reese. Both these guys have a 100% finish rate in their careers. Neither guy has won a decision, and I don't see that changing here. So I love violence in this fight. If you could parlay up the fight doesn't go to decision at a good number, I would do that. I also don't mind the under 2.5 as well to improve that price tag a little bit more. But I parlayed up this fight doesn't go with the Prochazka fight doesn't go, looking to win 2 units on this one. So yeah, love violence here. Everybody's on Julian Marquez this week, including me. I like Marquez this week, and I like him quite a bit. Have a weird feeling about this fight though, and typically when I have a weird feeling about fights, something weird happens. I didn't get to the Marquez money line just because I can't trust him really. Zachary Reese, he's still such an unknown. He's massive for the division. He has power, good submission game, but I think there are a ton of reasons to like Marquez. I think there are a lot of reasons why, people are on him this week. He's fought the much better competition. By a mile, it's not even close. Marquez has seen a second round. Marquez, I think, is the more durable fighter. Marquez is the much better striker, in my opinion. Marquez has more power. There's a ton of reasons to like Julian Marquez. The only thing that scares me is it's Julian Marquez. That's the only thing that scares me. But yeah, I think Julian Marquez wins this fight, and I think he wins it in very dominant fashion. So yeah, give me the fight doesn't go in a parlay. And then I sprinkled the Marquez round 2, round 3 props, 0.2 units, Marquez round 2 plus 600, 0.2 units, Marquez round 3 plus 1600, because a lot of Marquez wins do come in that second and third round. He has, I think, like 3 finishes in the second round of the UFC. One was on the Contender Series against Haas, but he submitted Alvi in the second round. Finished somebody else in the second round. I forget who. And then he finished Maki Bitolo in the third round as well. So lots of second and third round finishes for Julian Marquez. And I think he can add another one here. So yeah, I think if this fight hits the second round, it heavily favors Marquez. And I think it might be a second round finish for Marquez here in this one. The other person he did finish in the second round was Darren Stewart. So yeah, Marquez has not had a first round finish in a long time, in a very long time. And he's never had a decision. So I like that 2-3 on Marquez. But yeah, fight doesn't go to decision first and foremost for me in a parlay. From a DK perspective, I think Marquez is going to be one of the higher owned fights of the week, and I'm going to have a lot of them. But you also got to have some Zach Reese as well. Zach Reese has a 100% finish rate. If he's winning, it's probably a first round meme-ish knockout or meme-ish club and sub or armbar from Gar, something meme-ish, I think, for Zach Reese, which wouldn't completely shock me. So great fight for DraftKings, a borderline like all-in DraftKings type fight for me, because I just don't see how this fight doesn't score well. So yeah, I love this fight from a DraftKings perspective, but I think Marquez gets it done in violent fashion. Oh boy. Rayon is the lock of this card, max bet incoming. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Marquez sub and sub 2 seem good. They don't seem bad, man. They don't seem bad. He got a sub 2 against Sam Alvey, club and sub. Got a sub 2 against Darren Stewart. And then he got a sub 3 against Maki Bitolo. His submission game's good. I think he's a black belt. Good jiu-jitsu, Julian Marquez. Why did you not add Bruno Ferrera fight as a good decision in your parlay? In 12 fights, he's never been the scorecards. In 12 fights, he's never been over 1.5. I don't know. Because in fights where I am betting violence, I want there to be finishing upside on both sides. And in the Racky Prochazka fight, I think both guys are live for a knockout, and Racky's live for a sub. In this Marquez Reese fight, I think both guys are live for a knockout. Both guys are live for a sub. In the Ferrera fight, I think if this fight finishes, it's Ferrera knockout in the first round. But if not, I think it could get a little bit greasy. If Ferrera does not finish Stolfus in round 1, it could get greasy. We could see Stolfus may take over. Maybe, I don't know. But it's not some and that fight doesn't go decisions like minus 500, isn't it? Something crazy. So I guess that's why. But if you want to add it, go for it. I just don't feel good about that fight personally. And a lot of people are on Stolfus. Stolfus looks to be the dog of the week this week. All right. So yeah, that closes out the parlay, the only parlay of the card for me tracked. Moving on, we have Bruno Ferrera going against Dustin Stolfus. Yeah, just touch on this fight a little bit. I'm picking Bruno Ferrera to win this fight by first round knockout. If you like Ferrera, you probably bet him by first round knockout, which is around plus 200, I think. Bruno Ferrera parlay with the under 1.5 is plus 105. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. If you like Stolfus, I think a live bet on Stolfus could be interesting. I'm going to be looking at this fight from a live bet standpoint as well. If Stolfus is still standing and alive after the first round, I think a live bet on Stolfus makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think Ferrera probably does spark him. I think he gets him out of there. I think he goes out there and does what everybody expected Puna Soriano to do against Stolfus. So yeah, give me Ferrera first round knockout. But yeah, nothing on this fight. Nothing on this fight. From a DraftKings perspective, both sides in play. Ferrera, if he's winning, I think it's a first round KO, scores well. Stoltz, if he's winning, he's weathering an early storm. Ferrera's slowing down, and Stoltz is either winning a decision or maybe getting a late finish. So yeah, not a ton of interest in this fight. I think Ferrera KO1 is the most likely scenario, but you're not getting the best odds on a first round knockout prop. So probably staying away from this one. I couldn't bring myself to tape this card. Yeah, taping this card took several years off my life. I had to take a mental health day. Monday, I talked about it on my full card breakdown. I had to take a mental health day after taping Puja Tomar. I was watching all of her fights. There's this one video, it was like 40 minutes long. It ruined me mentally. It ruined me physically. I had to take a full day just to recover, just to get some motivation back in me. Because taping some of these fights, I mean, imagine taping Andrea Lee fights, Montana De La Rosa fights. It was bad, man. This card, it took a lot out of me, but I'm still here on a Friday and still going as strong as I can. Still going as strong as I can go. Because yeah, taping some of these fights, I mean, like I had to talk about Dustin Jacobe, Dominic Reyes like 6 to 7 times this week, and each time I talked about that fight, a little of me died inside. So, yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about my health. You know, talking about some of these fights and breaking some of these fights down, they will take a toll on you. And betting on some of these fights will take a serious, serious toll on you. And that's why I'm passing on a lot of these fights this week. I want to live a long, long life. And that's not happening if I'm betting on Puja Tomar. That's not happening if I'm betting on Andrea Lee at chalk. If I'm betting on those, you know, you're not going to last long in this life. So, but that's just me. I mean, people are laying chalk on Andrea Lee. People are betting on Puja Tomar. I mean, you guys do what you want. I just don't want to. I want to live a long life, and that's not happening. Laying money on some of these fights. This is Reyes' last chance. If he looks like round 1 against Jerry, it's easy, no confidence. So that's the thing. That's the thing about that fight. We don't know if the Dominic Reyes that shows up that fought John Jones, he smokes Jacobe. But I think that Dominic Reyes is long gone. You're not the one working the coal. I mean, let me ask you this. What's worse? Working in the coal mines for 12 hours, you know, getting up early, working in the coal mines, or going out there. If you want to talk. Shut up, Siri. Or going out there and taping Puja Tomar. How about you answer that one? Would you rather work in a coal mine for 12 hours, waking up early, very dangerous job, very taxing on the body, or tape Puja Tomar? I have my answer. I'm curious to know yours. I would much rather work in the coal mine than tape Puja Tomar fight tape. Appreciate you, Pete. The sacrifice that Brady makes, yeah, it's tough sometimes, guys. It's not a walk in the park. Betting on Cesar Almeida took a lot from me. I bet. I had violence in that fight. That took a lot out of me as well. Let's see. With what you say about Tomar, surprised you're not more up on Rayon this week. She seems well-rounded. Yeah, she's well-rounded. But yeah, she's not great, though. She's not great. I do have a small bet on Rayon to finish, though. Don't even start working in the coal mines would be way worse. Come on. Come on. The coal mine's better for the abs. Hard to say. Brady doesn't have the body type to work in the coal mine. Yeah, you got to be. I'm like 6'4", so it'd be tough. It'd be tough. But yeah, I'd rather. I'd make it happen. I'd make it happen. I'd get in those coal mines. Facts, Brady. Betting is way more stressful than the coal mines. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. No, they're not. By the way, are coal miner, is that still a thing these days? I know it was a thing back in like the early to mid 19. Is that, are people still coal mining out there? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Give me the coal mines work and the money. Yeah, I would rather be a coal miner than break down Andrea Lee Montana De La Rosa. Give me the coal mines with the cash, and I'll make a little. Oh, don't bet on Puja Tomar. Still a thing. There you go. It's a dangerous job. It's a treacherous job. And shout out to all the coal miners out there. But also, taping Puja Tomar was a very treacherous job as well. So we'll move on. Gosh, where even were we? Oh, Raul Rosas Jr. going against Ricky Tursi. He's not going to spend much time on this fight. We already broke this fight down a lot. A couple months ago on the Mexico City card, Ricky Tercios pulled out a couple minutes before fight time. Nothing's changed. The pick is Raul Rosas Jr. I think it's a great matchup for him. Ricky Tercios can't stuff a takedown. Ricky Tercios, with that said, though, can get back up, has a really good get-up game. I like Raul Rosas Jr. To win, but yeah, not much sticking out because I could see really any method. I could see maybe a TKO for Raul Rosas. I could see maybe a sub. I could see a decision. And I think I am leaning more so decision for Raul Rosas Jr. But yeah, don't really love anything here. On DraftKings, I do like Raul Rosas Jr. quite a bit for what I said. Like Ricky Tercios is a guy that will get taken down at will with little to no resistance, but he'll pop back up, which Raul Rosas could come out here and have like a 10 takedown type performance across 15. So from a DraftKings perspective, Raul Rosas Jr. makes a ton of sense to me, and I think he can go out there and get a significant amount of takedowns, unless he is subbing Ricky Tercios in the first round, which I also think is on the table. So yeah, Raul Rosas Jr. for DraftKings on me. I had a ton of Raul Rosas Jr. when he was supposed to fight on the Mexico City card, and that was a card where everything was like going great. Like that was one of my better cards, at least from a betting perspective ever. Everything was going great. DraftKings was going great, and I had like 50 to 60% of Raul Rosas, and then he pulls out after lock, and it just pissed me off, man. But hopefully he doesn't pull out here, and if he doesn't pull out, I think he puts up a pretty good score. Any long shots this week? There are some long shots. Like, let's see. Long shots this week. And Puja Tomar, no. Puja Tomar is not a long shot for me at least. I mean, you guys can bet Puja if you want. A lot of people are. Long shots. Denise Gomes finish props. They're all really good prices this week. In a fight where I think can really go either way, in a fight that I think is finishing. These Denise Gomes finish props are very juicy. Daniel Marcos late props, maybe if Castan is slowing down. Nothing in the Lee fight, nothing in maybe Katona late props, but they're not too big of long shots. They're kind of all over it. Any Racky finish props are pretty decent prices. Moises sub, Klein KO, decent prices. Bayaza sub 2-3, decent price. Marquez late props. Stolfus late prop. There's some definitely late sprinkles sticking out, but I didn't go crazy on him this week. I didn't like much. Puja Tomar and Dominic Reyes, hot boy. Yeah, Dominic Reyes. I'd be more inclined to bet him over Puja, but even that's something I don't really want to do. Rob returns. I hope so. Wish I knew Raul Rosas wins, but I'll be on the money line. Wish I knew how Raul Rosas wins, but I'll be on the money line hard. I agree. I don't know how he wins, but I think he wins. Raul, at the end of the day, Rosas versus Ricky. You know what I'm saying? Tercios. Yeah, something's wrong with Ricky, man. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. But he said, you know what I'm saying, at least like 50 times in his interview this week. How does Ricky beat anyone unless he completely... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Tercios' game at all. Terrible striking, terrible takedown defense. But he has a lot of heart, and he's going to go out there. He's going to try in a lot of these fights, and trying... is enough to win some fights in the UFC, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how he wins this one personally. Puja Tomar by KO1. Parlaying with Puna submission. Holy crap. Butler to finish. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I can't get there. At the end of the day, Rob Rosas Jr. will get the win. Maybe Puna will have a career bounce back up like Buckley did when he dropped to 185 to 170. Yeah, Puna's live. Puna's live. Brady, you saw the Puja video asking 2 billion Indians to tune in at 3 a.m. and raise their hands to send their energy. I did not see that. I did not see that. So, yeah, so I guess they're going to be watching at 3 a.m. Wow. So that's pretty cool. Potential fights to go the distance. The main event, I think, goes the distance. Oh, the Andrea Lee fight, De La Rosa fight. That fight goes the distance. The Katona fight probably goes the distance. I think those three. I think we got a lot of finishes other than that as well. Oh, Lapis Staman goes the distance. Do you think McGregor Chandler actually happens? I don't know. At first, I was like, for sure it's not happening. But now I'm like, maybe. I think there's like a 50-50 chance it happens. Reyes should not be fighting. We shall see. Verna is going to ankle pick Ricky Tercios. Yeah, he is. At least Reyes fight makes more sense than Tony versus Chiesa. Yeah, that's crazy. They gave Tony Ferguson a fight. They gave Nick Diaz a fight. I think Nick Diaz is fighting Vicente Luque. Like, what is going on? All right. We'll keep moving on, guys. We have, Dustin Jacobe versus Dominic Reyes, which is the 1-800-GAMBLER, not only fight of the week, the 1-800-GAMBLER fight of the year. And it's because, like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know which Dominic Reyes is showing up. If the Dominic Reyes that shows up that fought John Jones, that fought Yuri, if that Dominic Reyes shows up, I think he beats Jacobe quite easily. I think he absolutely beats Jacobe if that Dominic Reyes shows up. But I don't know. I don't know if that Dom Reyes exists anymore. He's on a 4-fight skid. His last fight, he got knocked out by Ryan Spann, and that fight was like 2 years ago. And apparently he's like dealing with some health issues or something's going on with him. So yeah, I don't know if that Dom Reyes exists anymore. I think Dom Reyes may be on his way out. And if that's the case, if he is on his way out, Dustin Jacobe should win this fight. So I don't know. You can't lay minus 235 on Dustin Jacobe against anyone. Like, this is a guy who has had some sketchy fights, Dustin Jacobe. He lost to Alonzo Menefield. That's a fight he should not be losing, in my opinion. He lost to Azamat Mirzakhanov. I actually like him to win that fight, and he looked terrible in that fight. He lost to Khalil Roundtree. I thought he won, but it was a close fight. There's been some sketchy, even like the Mikhail Zaechuk fight. I thought it should have been like one-way traffic. Like, I think that was Mikhail's only decision loss. I think Dustin was the only person to not finish Mikhail Zaechuk. So, yeah, I don't trust Dustin Jacobe, but at the same time, I don't trust Dominic Reyes. If I knew we were getting a prime or somewhat close to his prime, Dominic Reyes, I'd probably be max betting Dominic Reyes here. But I think he might be done. I think he might be washed. So, I don't know. I don't want anything to do with this fight. It is a dog or pass fight. But if I laid money on Dominic Reyes and he gets sparked in 60 seconds, I'd be so annoyed. So I'm just passing here. I don't like any money lines. If I did, it'd be Reyes, which is ugly. It's greasy, but it's a dog or pass. And then I don't like any props. The overs have gotten hammered throughout the week, which made sense early on. We might even get like plus money on violence at this point. Like the over 2.5 opened up plus 185. It's now plus 115. So the overs are getting completely wrecked, which they make sense to me. But if Dominic Reyes is a washed bum now, maybe Jacobe does knock him out early. So, yeah, that's one big, giant, massive pass. From a DK perspective, I guess maybe a little bit Jacobe just in case Dominic Reyes is washed and a bum. But if Dominic Reyes is not a washed bum, 7,200 for Dom Reyes has my attention. So Dominic Reyes or pass on the Dominic Reyes or pass from a Draftkings perspective and a moneyline perspective, but I don't know. Putting any money on this fight is just terrifying. It's just terrifying. Dude, if Reyes wins, it'll be by knockout. If at least you have 0.25 units at stake, all I'm saying. Yeah, it could be by knockout. Dustin Jacobe's been dropped a ton in the UFC. Azat dropped him. A couple guys have dropped Dustin Jacobe. He's a tough dude, but but he's been dropped a lot. Jacobe dusted Da Jung when the Korean was on a height train. Yeah, Da Jung's terrible, but he did. He did. If Reyes wins, it is certainly going to be a sub or a ground control. If Reyes wins, I think it could be by any method. I don't know about some. Reyes is the Smith, Diego, Weidman, Auto, OSP, Nickel? Must have forgot post USADA resurgent fighter this week. Trust me, we shall see. We shall see. Didn't Reyes just win in Fantastic KO recently in another UFC organization? I don't think so, did he? I didn't think he left the UFC. Guys, Ryan Spann knocked out Reyes. Dustin will dust him. Yeah, but Ryan Spann has power, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm actually even surprised he's showing up this Saturday on a 4-fight skid. So yes, if he does get knocked out by Jacobe or even lose against Jacobe, I think it's his last fight in the UFC. And Aussie saying no to a fight outside the organization. I didn't think so, but yeah, I think we can move on to the next fight. It's the main event. We got Nasruddin Imavov going against Jared Cannonier. It is a very closely lined fight. We have Nasruddin Imavov minus 125 and Cannonier a plus 106 underdog. Close fight. A fight that I think is going 25 minutes. Seems like all these middleweight 5-round fights, they go 25. You know, Sean Strickland, Adesanya, even Imavov Dolidze somehow went 25. Cannonier, Vittori somehow went 25. Every middleweight fight that's scheduled for 5 rounds just seems to go the distance. And this one, I think, is no different. And yeah, it's a close fight. I think that Imavov can have a lot of success early. He's going to be the much younger fighter that's got to be mentioned. I think he's a very good striker, very good volume. But I do have concerns about Imavov's cardio. We've seen him slow down in 3-round fights, let alone 5. Jared Cannonier, even at 40 years old, he's shown that he can still go out there, throw a lot of volume, still very durable, still has very good cardio. So, yeah, I think this is going to be like a 48-47 split decision type fight. I think it's going to all come down to the crooked, corrupt judges here. And some of these judges in 5-round fights have just been awful. I mean, somebody scored the fight last week 49-46 for Paulo Costa. So, yeah, this fight has split decision written all over it for me. It is a dog or pass spot, but I'm not running to the window in a fight that, in my opinion, can go either way. I think Imavov has success early. Cannonier has some success down the stretch. And like I said, 48-47 either way. Maybe Chris Lee has it 50-45 for a random fighter, but yeah, not a fight I'm overly looking forward to from a betting perspective. From a Draftkings perspective, Cannonier at 7,600 makes a lot of sense. I think at the very least he loses a decision, but scores very well in the process. Very good volume from Cannonier. Landed like 240 in his last fight, and he's cheap. He's only plus 100 on the money line. 7,600 to like Cannonier from a Draftkings perspective, but from a betting perspective, not much sticking out. All right. Reyes just, nothing's wrong with being alive. Nothing's wrong with being alive. Imavov all day. I don't know. I think whoever wins it's gonna be close. I don't know if anybody's winning like all day. Cannonier, easy matchup, horrible matchup for Imavov. I mean, it's a close fight. Reyes just needs to watch the Izzy speech that inspired Alex, but pretend it's John talking. Very confident. Imavov, your confidence is going to go out the door whenever Sal D'Amato scores the fight 49-46 for Cannonier. I can tell you that. Definitely going the distance with these chumps. I don't know if they're chumps, but I think it's going the distance. Let's see. Dang, I missed the breakdown. Always tune in Saturday morning. Yeah, the betting breakdown will be out later this week or later tonight. Who's getting the finish? I don't think anybody is. Serious injury at 40 years old, getting hurt by pillow fist Vittori. Going to side with Father Time on this one. Yep, Cannonier is 40 years old. If this is ending early, who's getting the finish? Imavov. The big cage favors Imavov, in my opinion. Agreed. I appreciate Dave Torelli trying to cash my Costa ticket. Yeah. He did try. He did try. Hope I'm in the shape Jared is at 40. He's always been in great shape. Marquez, Racky, Reyes, and Cannonier best bets if you like money. I like Marquez. Racky, don't love it. Reyes, I don't love it. Cannonier, I don't mind. I think they're all live dog. I think a lot of these dogs are live though. Everybody's going heavy on some of these dogs. It just you gotta find the right ones. All right, Cannoneer by split decision was plus 500 on Bovada. I think whoever wins is probably a split. All right, so that's about it, guys. Not a ton of action on this card, which is fine. Um, but what I do have is the Marquez Reese fight doesn't go to decision, parlayed with the Prochazka Racky fight doesn't go to decision. 2.6 units to win 2. I have Marquez round 2 and Marquez round 3 props. I have the Denise Gomes finish props, half unit on the KO, or quarter unit on the sub after Mara missed weight by a quarter pound and didn't look great on the scales. And then I have Amanda inside the distance, 0.75 units plus 175, keeping it short and sweet. Liking next week a lot better from a betting perspective. Next week's card's awesome. We're back in the Apex. We have Tetsura Taira going against Alex Perez. We have Jimmy Flick on the card. We have poor Weston Wilson fighting tomorrow or next week. Weston Wilson will be making a return against Jekka Seragi. So somebody's going to get served in that one. So yeah, next week's card, I'm actually liking next week's card a lot. So keeping it light, trying not to get destroyed on this card. I feel like a lot of people are going to get destroyed on this card from some of the bets I've been seeing, but we'll see. Anything can happen. A lot of underdogs probably come through and a lot of finishes come through this week. All right, last couple questions and we'll head out of here. We got Sniper with the 199. Thank you, Sniper, saying thank you for the stream. Good luck on all your bets. Good luck to you as well, Sniper. Thank you for the 199. Best of luck, everybody. Be on the lookout for the betting breakdown video later tonight. Be on the lookout for Best Bet tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And shout out to all the coal miners out there putting in hard work, very treacherous work. And shout out to everybody that taped, some of these fights this week. It was also very treacherous work as well. Best of luck, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.